Good morning, DG and beyond sisters. Sorry about my hand here, getting the phone together. I hope everybody's having a nice day, and thank you for joining me for coffee chat with Donna in the car. I figured this is a really good way. I'm in the car anyway, so we might as well connect. And just give me 1 second here as I adjust. I want to be safe. So let me just adjust my phone. There we go. Yay. Alrighty, so let's get going. All right, so today I wanted to put on the table something that you may find to be quite interesting. You may agree, you may may disagree, but I believe that talking could actually be one of the worst things we could do. So you may be saying, Donna, what do you mean talking is the worst thing we could do? Aren't you a psychotherapist? Don't you coach for a living? Isn't that what you do? 100% absolutely yes. But let me tell you why I believe talking could be the worst thing we could do. Hi, Bunny. It's so good to see you. Hi, Sharon. So glad to see. Hi, Jessica. Good morning. We're all starting a beautiful day, and thank you for joining me with Coffee Chat in the car ride with Donna. And today we're talking about why talking is or can be the worst things for us. So here's why. Most times when people are in a struggle, now my audience and for people who follow me, many of you have been through a relationship struggle, are working on building the best relationship with yourself, have been through a divorce or separation, or perhaps maybe you just like my energy and you're following me because everything that I'm teaching for women who've been through relationship fractures and soul fractures could be applied anywhere. But people who have a problem, so whatever that problem is, and for my particular purpose, let's just say it's a broken heart. So when you're talking about the broken heart, you're going to a therapist and you're pouring out your heart of how upset you are and how traumatized you are and exactly where you don't want to be and all of the things that are causing you grief. And each and every day, when you go to the therapist, this is what you're talking about. Then when you go to work, you're talking about it with friends at work. And then you go to home, right? And you're talking about all of the things and the troubles and the problems. And again, for relationship purposes, what you don't have, what's going wrong. And Bunny, yes, you were saying your husband and you would agree with the same statement. So when we're talking, what we're really doing when we're having conversation, it may seem like it's just flippant and we're having this conversation, and a little bit of it does feel good because if our heart has been hurt or we're having a problem, it does feel good to get company in that, to say, wow, I'm so sorry. Gosh, I can imagine how that feels, and that must feel like shit, and that sucks, and all of that. And it does validate us in our broken heart that that's how we feel. So it's nice sometimes to get that womb-like environment and to have family and friends who sort of understand that. But here's what we're doing. When we are speaking, it's not flippant. So our words are actually encoding messages into our brain and then creating a belief system around that. And then what ends up happening is what we believe we achieve. So if we're stuck in the struggle that our heart is broken, our soul fracture can't be healed, we're never gonna find a good guy again, that life is difficult, I can't get that promotion, that this is a challenge, we are coding our brain to believe that is true. So what therapy, I'm a therapist, I'm also a relationship coach, so I find value in therapy. And here's where the talking in therapy is good, and here's where it could be to your demise. Talking in therapy is good when you've been through a traumatic event where you don't know if up is down, down is up, you don't know left to right, right to left, that your heart and you're in survival mode, that you just don't know, and you need an unbiased opinion to help guide you because you can't see the way, right? You cannot see the forest through the trees, and you need someone to help guide you so you don't smack dab hit yourself into a tree. But once you've healed that part and you're really ready to create your future, it's time to move into more of a coaching environment or more of a future-paced environment where you're not talking so much about what you don't want, you're talking more about what you want, right? So that's the work that I do at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, and that's the reason why I say talking could be one of the worst things we could do for us, Because if we don't shift the way that we are speaking, if we don't shift the way the words are coming out of our mouth, and instead of saying, gosh, I don't know if I could do this is hard, this is so difficult, I don't know if this is possible, we could replace that with, yeah, this seems to be challenging. Do you see the word, just the difference in the word challenging? Because when we say this is hard, this is difficult, we're giving our brain permission to say, I can't do this, that this is not possible, and I'm going to give up. But when we use the word challenge, now we say, let's get to resourceful mode. Let's figure out how we're going to do this. Let's figure out what the next steps are. So when you're in this mode, and let's say all of the pieces of your life are put together, you've got good family, you've got good friends, you know where you're working, you've got a good job, you know where you're living, you're not in fear of having your home, you know exactly where that is. But this relationship thing, whether attracting the right person or creating the best relationship with yourself, that you know that there's something deeper for you, it's time to begin speaking from your future versus your past. Hey Sharon, Elizabeth, and Susan, so glad you're here. So we've got to begin speaking from our future self versus our past self. So I want to be very clear. I'm not saying therapy is a bad thing, and I'm not saying talking about your past is a bad thing. What I'm saying is that if that's all we're talking about, that is only going to keep you getting what you don't want. Again, you're coding your brain to keep repeating the same things that you don't want. And I don't know about you, but I think that's the definition of insanity, right? We're expecting different results, but we're doing the same things. So if you want a different result in your life, and you want to create your future, and you want to be living that life because you know that's in your heart, you know living that most authentic version of your life is there, and your soul journey is calling you, right? You've got this ping in your heart because your soul is calling you. Our soul's evolution needs to be out there, growing, reaching, and expanding. We need to be creating. We need to be moving. And I'm not saying you have to do leaps and bounds and quantum leaps, little steps forward, right? We don't want to be looking in our rear view mirror to create a new life. So with that said, my suggestion is begin to look at your language. Begin to do a self-assessment and an inventory. And as you're speaking to people, become the observer and say, how much of my time am I speaking about my past? How much of my time am I speaking about my struggle? How much of my time am I focused on really what I have no control over, whether that be another person, right? We spend so much time and energy focused on other people, and we have absolutely zero control over other people. We have 100% control over how we react or we respond to a situation. And I think the greatest gift out of a woman whose heart is filled with joy and peace, is emotional regulation, where we're not focused on someone else's life. Yes, we have to deal with ex-husbands and we have to deal with things like that. I'm not saying we're going to put our head in the sand, but they're no longer defining us. It's just a piece of our life. It's not all of our life. We take back control of our life. We step in our superhero instead of a super victim. We make a decision. We're moving forward. We make a decision. Our next step to our great life is going to be focusing on our future. So this week, or even just today, take an inventory of those thoughts and see where your thoughts are landing. If they're landing more in the past, acknowledge it, give yourself grace and love, say goodbye to those thoughts, and make a commitment to yourself that today you're going to be speaking future paced. You're going to be speaking from the life of the woman or the CEO or the wife or the girlfriend or just the most amazing woman that you are, from that point of your future. That you're no longer going to be identified with the struggles of the past. You're going to be romancing your future. You're going to be more in love with your future. So with that said, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And if my message resonates with you, and there's a few things that you could do. One, you could, in order to cultivate this mindset, do some work at home, right? There's meditations that you could do. There's tapping that you can do. I like to have just time in the morning for prayer, just to be by myself and just to have that quiet time where no one else is bothering me, where I could just be focused on that. And if you feel you need further help, or if you're needing and saying like, I need the accountability and the coaching, I'm going to post my masterclass below. Take a look at that masterclass, watch it first, and it's free. So I would recommend, if you haven't watched it, watch it anyway, because there's really good tidbits in there. And there's an offer at the end if you for a free breakthrough call. So if you feel that my message resonates with you and you're ready for a breakthrough call, you let me know. But Casey, you ready to say goodbye? We're off to Starbucks, grab our cup of coffee, and go to the beach. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.